popped out listening to this shit, but ooh, this shit right here go give you real motivation. Hold on, look.
Not long after the incident involving Lil Rob and Monti, Lil Jeff rushed back to the car where his associate T Slick was waiting. They drove off in a hurry, but they didn't cover their tracks well enough. Authorities have since linked the getaway vehicle to Lil Jeff, and now shocking new footage has surfaced online, exposing the real depth of what went down that day. The big question everyone's asking is whether Lil Jeff's role in those tragic events somehow played a part in his own sudden passing. A viral video showing the moments leading up to that day is taking over the internet, and people can't stop talking about it. As January 2025 came to an end, a video from exactly a year earlier reappeared online, capturing the final moments before two young men lost their lives in a heartbreaking act of violence. The resurfacing clip has thrown social media into chaos, with users sharing their disbelief and outrage. This all comes after one of the main suspects, 22-year-old Tommy Coleman, better known as T Slick, was taken into custody for his alleged role in the case. He was a close friend and known associate of Lil Jeff, the same man many believe to have orchestrated the entire plan shown in that viral footage. In the clip,
look, if y'all ever going through some shit, y'all need, like, y'all want to get back, y'all need some shit to tear y'all up, play this song right here 100 times. I bet you gonna get the job done. Right in my line, brother.
The two young men, 16-year-old Robert Boston, aka Lil Rob, and 17-year-old Monti Williams, aka Monti, are seen casually walking near the Washington Wabash station around 12:30 p.m. on January 26, 2024. Moments later, three masked men arrive in a dark blue SUV, step out, and the scene takes a tragic turn, leaving everyone stunned by how quickly it all unfolded. Investigators later identified the people involved as Lil Jeff, T Slick, and a third unnamed accomplice. Witnesses say the trio unleashed chaos for about 15 seconds, sending bystanders running in every direction as the two victims collapsed to the ground in the middle of the panic. After that, the suspects quickly jumped back into their dark blue SUV and sped off into traffic, trying to disappear into the city. But the escape didn't go as smoothly as they thought. Multiple surveillance cameras and license plate readers picked up the vehicle's trail along Stevenson Expressway and down Lakeshore Drive before it was later seen heading toward the south suburbs of Dalton and Calumet City. Meanwhile, paramedics rushed to the scene and worked fast to save the two young victims, transporting them to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Sadly, both lost their lives shortly after arriving. Reports confirmed that Monti was struck in the hip and chest, while Lil Rob was hit in the upper body. The neighborhood was shaken to its core after the tragedy, with locals demanding justice and answers. Then, on Wednesday, January 29, 2025, just over a year after the case first made headlines, police finally arrested one of the main suspects, T Slick, in the 5700 block of North Mason Avenue. As for Lil Jeff, the man believed to have planned the entire attack, his own life came to a sudden end in June 2024, long before he could ever face a courtroom. The third accomplice is still under investigation, but T Slick has now been officially charged with 2 serious felony counts connected to the case, along with multiple weapons-related charges. During the 2025 court hearings, prosecutors revealed that Lil Rob and Monti weren't just neighborhood faces, they were actually childhood friends. But over time, that friendship turned sour, sparking a deep rivalry between them and Lil Jeff, T Slick, and the third unnamed person involved in the case. The tension had been brewing for years, and according to court documents, it eventually led to the tragic confrontation that shocked everyone. Prosecutors also uncovered that the third individual was a former classmate of Lil Rob and Monti at Innovations High School. Security footage from the school reportedly showed him changing clothes and leaving campus about 90 minutes before the incident took place. That footage became one of the key pieces of evidence tying him to the events that unfolded later that day. Investigators went even further, analyzing Jeep's data from his phone, which revealed that he boarded a CTA train toward Roosevelt right after leaving school. Surveillance video from a nearby parking garage later captured him getting into the same dark blue SUV that had been reported stolen. What really sealed the case were the phone records. Location data from all three suspects' devices showed that their phones moved together before, during, and even after the attack, painting a clear picture of their movements. To make things worse for him, just minutes after the chaos, Lil Jeff reportedly posted a video on Instagram showing himself and his crew inside that same SUV. The clip, uploaded roughly 20 minutes after the incident, showed them wearing black masks and mouthing lyrics from a song that described masked men in a stolen car confronting someone, almost mirroring what had just happened. In one clip, the rapper is seen cruising in a car with a friend, rapping along to the exact same track that was playing in the SUV during the tragic event involving Monti and Lil Rob. At one point, he lowers the volume and tells his followers that the lyrics gave him the energy to go take action. Then comes the jaw-dropping part. He starts making statements that sound like a full-on confession, leaving viewers stunned by how openly he spoke on camera. Right after that, Lil Jeff turns the music back up and keeps rapping lyrics about getting back at his rivals, showing zero hesitation. It was a bold move that made the internet explode with theories and outrage once the video resurfaced. People couldn't believe he'd post something like that so casually, especially considering everything that had just happened. According to people close to the situation, Lil Jeff and his crew had an ongoing conflict with Monti and Lil Rob that went back years. Things reportedly spiraled out of control when Monti and Lil Rob allegedly took 2 luxury watches that belonged to Lil Jeff. That moment flipped everything upside down. Afterwards, Monti and Lil Rob didn't hold back. They uploaded several clips online mocking Lil Jeff about the stolen watches. In one video, Monti appears surrounded by friends, flashing the watches at the camera, calling out their rivals for wearing fake jewelry. The clip showed them laughing, joking, and clearly trying to get a reaction. Another person in the background could even be seen waving around what looked like a weapon while saying, "Tell Lil Jeff to stop wearing that fake AP," showing off the diamond-covered watch. The post ended up on Reddit about a year ago, where viewers expressed disbelief at how a petty argument over jewelry could spiral into such a devastating chain of events.
One person online wrote, "Hate to be that dude, but I'm really into watches. Not only does an iced out AP cost over 100K, but getting a real one isn't easy unless you got serious connections. You can have the cash ready and still be stuck on a waiting list at official dealers. They lost their lives over something that might not have even been real." The comment instantly went viral, with many agreeing that the situation was beyond senseless. Another user jumped in, questioning why so many people from the streets keep posting risky stuff online. They wrote, "I don't get it. Why do so many of these guys record everything or rap about it, basically telling on themselves? Do they want their enemies to find them or what? It's like they're painting a big target on their backs." That comment summed up what a lot of people were thinking, how social media bragging keeps making already dangerous feuds even worse. Naturally, Lil Jeff saw those taunting posts from Monti and Lil Rob as the ultimate form of disrespect. Witnesses later claimed that's when he allegedly started planning his response. What followed was pure tragedy. 2 young men lost their lives, all over a pair of luxury watches. But even then, the violence didn't stop there. Just days later, on January 31st, 2024, 5 days after Monti and Lil Rob lost their lives, another shocking incident rocked the community. A man known as Lil Squirrel, who was close to Lil Jeff, was reported to have lost his life in what appeared to be a related incident. The cycle of violence was far from over, and it showed how quickly street disputes can spiral into chaos. Moments after Lil Squirrel's death, Lil Jeff posted a short Instagram story that's since vanished, saying, "My rivals will hurt anybody when they get emotional. Stay safe, all my innocent people." His words struck a nerve online, with many seeing it as both a warning and a sign that the tension wasn't ending anytime soon. In several of his tracks, Lil Jeff openly referenced the 2 teens, rapping about getting revenge and boosting his so-called score. He was only 21 when his own life came to a tragic end, but according to those who followed his story, he had long claimed to have been involved in multiple violent situations. What made it even wilder was how he'd constantly talk about it in his music and social media posts, showing no hesitation in connecting himself to some of the darkest events in his city. But Lil Jeff's lyrics went deeper than street retaliation.
He also hinted that his actions were tied to making money. Rumors swirled that he was known as a for-hire enforcer, and he carried the nickname Bloodhound Lil Jeff, also going by Lil Jeff Hardy. He was affiliated with the Bloodhound Chicago crew, a street group that was often mentioned in drill music circles and known by names like Wiz City and Drill City. Although Jeff started making music at a young age, his fame skyrocketed once he began dropping tracks that appeared to reference the high-profile case involving Monti and Lil Rob. Fans were shocked at how directly he seemed to speak about it, turning real-life tension into viral songs that built his reputation in the underground scene. But those weren't the only incidents he bragged about. Lil Jeff often claimed in his lyrics to have been involved in numerous serious incidents, and once even went live on Instagram hinting that he had a so-called 11th score. However, not everyone bought into those claims. In an October 2024 interview with DJ Vlad, British documentarian Trap Lord Ross challenged Lil Jeff's statements. He said there simply wasn't enough time between when he allegedly carried out that 11th act and when his own life was taken for the story to make sense. During the same interview, Ross also spoke about Lil Jeff's close friendship with rapper Q50, suggesting that both had reputations as street soldiers for hire. According to British documentarian Trap Lord Ross, Lil Jeff and rapper Q50 weren't just active in Chicago, they were allegedly taking on jobs in other cities for cash. Ross claimed that the two were later connected to a shocking case out of Milwaukee in 2022, one that local reports described as a triple homicide. He cited details from online discussions and leaked reports suggesting that the pair were originally targeting one person but ended up taking the lives of 3 men instead. The victims of the March 2022 incident were later identified as Anthony Thompson, Eris McKinney, and Clarence Harris. Authorities said all 3 were discovered inside an apartment near 54th and Mill Street. The case rocked the entire neighborhood, leaving the community terrified and desperate for answers. At the time, investigators struggled to find solid leads or suspects, which only fueled more online speculation about who might have been involved. Ross explained that it didn't take long before both Lil Jeff and Q50 began drawing attention to themselves by talking too much online and in their music, essentially exposing information that law enforcement later used to connect the dots. Fans started noticing lyrics and social media clips that eerily matched details from the Milwaukee Jace, raising eyebrows across the rap scene. The same filmmaker, Trap Lord, who previously gained major attention for his 2023 documentary examining the controversial legacy of the late rapper King Von, suggested that both Lil Jeff and Q50 idolized Von's reputation and wanted to live just as recklessly. He claimed that they were chasing the same image of street fame that had made Von so infamous. This would explain why both artists act about violence, as if trying to prove something to the world. While Lil Jeff bragged in his lyrics about having 10 scores, Q50 often boasted about 8. Q50 hinted several times in his songs about a possible connection to the incident involving Monti and Lil Rob, an admission that only added more controversy to his already dangerous legacy. In one of his music videos, rapper Q50 spits a verse about getting a call to handle business downtown. He raps, "Blooded called, said he trying to go spin. We can spend downtown. Last 2 got lit." Even though he doesn't drop any names, fans quickly connected the dots. Q50 was known to run with the same Bloodhound Chicago crew as Lil Jeff, and the lyrics sounded uncomfortably close to a real-life incident downtown. Investigators later said there was strong evidence showing that more than 3 people were involved in that tragic attack that claimed the lives of 2 teenagers. Police reports revealed that after the gunfire, 4 men jumped into a vehicle and sped away, while 2 others escaped on foot. The complexity of the scene suggested it wasn't a random act. It was organized, quick, and clearly planned ahead of time. Now, while no official evidence has placed Q50 directly at the scene, his tight connection with Lil Jeff and his constant habit of oversharing in his songs and online has led many to believe he might have had more involvement than he ever admitted. Still, without concrete proof, everything remains speculation, but that hasn't stopped the public from talking. And when it comes to self-snitching, Q50 wasn't alone. His close friend Lil Jeff practically turned it into an art form. To show how extreme it got,
Documentarian Trap Lil Ross, during his interview with DJ Vlad, straight up called Lil Jeff the king of self-snitching. According to him, both Lil Jeff and Q50 couldn't resist bragging online about their supposed scores and missions, even going as far as updating their body counts like it was some kind of game. To back that up, Ross pointed to one infamous Facebook post where Q50 went online to make a shocking announcement to his followers, bragging about what he'd done instead of laying low. Q50 once posted online bragging that he had just added another one, claiming his total had reached 8. Not long after, Lil Jeff did something equally bold. He went live on Instagram telling his followers that his so-called score had gone up again, boasting that he now had 11. In another disturbing moment, he even mentioned that his 10th was pending because the person involved was still on life support. The internet couldn't believe how openly he was talking about serious crimes like it was a game. During his interview with DJ Vlad, documentarian Trap Lil Ross recalled one of the most shocking examples of Lil Jeff's oversharing, his release of a song titled "I," which dropped shortly after a tragic incident involving 2 teenagers. In the track, he raps, "He was screaming 'I' when he got hit." The chilling part, that same sound was eerily similar to what witnesses said they heard during the incident. Even though footage from that day didn't capture anyone screaming those words, the connection was unsettling and added to the public's outrage. Ross described this as one of the most daring and reckless examples of self-incrimination she had ever seen in the rap world. Fans were left torn between seeing it as artistic expression or a real-life confession. Either way, it blurred the line between music and reality in a terrifying way. But what's really tragic is that Lil Jeff didn't start out heading down that path. People who knew him said he was once a talented basketball player with big dreams. In high school, he had potential, skill, and drive, everything that could have taken him far in life. Things started to change when tragedy hit home. According to those close to him, Lil Jeff's cousin, Z Money, lost his life, and that loss significantly changed his perspective. Z Money's death reportedly came from what insiders called a backdoor setup, where people he trusted the most allegedly turned against him. That betrayal devastated Lil Jeff, and from that moment, he was determined to dive deeper into the streets to get revenge for his cousin's passing. But what started as payback soon spiraled into something much bigger. It became about power, reputation, and defending his block during an all-out turf war between 2 rival factions known as Drill City and Trap City. Once Lil Jeff and his right-hand man, Q50, got caught up in that violent cycle, there was no easy way out. Their names started surfacing in connection with multiple street conflicts, and their growing reputation made things more dangerous. Within a short time, Lil Jeff was being linked to multiple violent incidents, claims that would follow him for years. One of the earliest cases connected to his name involved a man known on the streets as Lil Gouda, real name Ronnie L. Strink Jr., who was reportedly part of a group called the Hit Squad. He lost his life in 2021, and soon after, whispers began tying Lil Jeff to that tragedy, though nothing was ever proven in court. Around that same time, he was also accused of being linked to 2 more victims, Clay and Crew, who were associated with another local group known as 8 Trey. Another name that came up in the rumors was a man called Black, whose real name was Roger Lou, said to be a respected older figure from his block and an alleged member of the Evans mob. The 33-year-old tragically lost his life during an incident in March 2022. However, that particular claim about Lil Jeff fell apart soon after because police arrested another suspect a month later, and that person is currently serving time for the crime. Even though Lil Jeff has been mentioned in connection with several unresolved cases over the years, there's no confirmed evidence linking him directly to any of them. Lil Jeff often couldn't keep quiet about the things he'd done and ended up exposing himself in the process. One of the first incidents he appeared to reference online involved a rival from Trap City known as Liao. On July 25, 2023, Liao was found inside his car, and investigators believe the incident was connected to an earlier case involving Lil Jeff's cousin. Not long after, Lil Jeff and several members of the Bloodhound crew jumped on social media, dropping cryptic posts and comments hinting that they had something to do with it.
Then there was the now infamous case involving the two teenagers, which Lil Jeff shockingly bragged about for months afterwards. In his songs and live streams, he would talk about getting revenge and smoking his rivals, drawing serious attention from both fans and law enforcement. But karma came back around, because when he tried to go after another target, things took a tragic turn that ultimately cost him his life. Bloodhound Lil Jeff's death came as a shocking twist in June 2024, right when his name was starting to buzz in the underground rap scene. On June 8, 2024, footage captured what would be his final moment. In the viral clip, Lil Jeff is seen wearing a black hoodie and blue jeans, chasing after a man dressed in yellow shorts. Witnesses said Lil Jeff looked confident, but the chase ended in tragedy when the man he was after turned around and fired back, fatally wounding him on the spot. Another clip that spread online later showed what appeared to be Lil Jeff's friends trying to retaliate. Several individuals were seen exiting their vehicles and causing a disturbance in the area before leaving. The footage went viral across social media, with fans stunned at how fast things had escalated. The surveillance footage from that night didn't clearly show who Lil Jeff's target was, and it also didn't confirm if anyone was actually hit during the chaos. But one thing was certain: during that retaliation scene, Lil Jeff himself was no longer there. He had already lost his life. Sources later confirmed that everything went down near the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue in Illinois.
Reports revealed that Lil Jeff was struck multiple times during the encounter. Even though paramedics rushed him to the University of Chicago Medical Center and doctors fought to save him, he tragically didn't survive his injuries. The shocking news of his passing spread like wildfire online, sending fans, critics, and rivals into a frenzy of reactions. Almost immediately after the news broke, two of Lil Jeff's rivals, 800 JT and another up-and-coming rapper, jumped on Instagram Live to gloat about his death. In the clip, they could be seen driving around, laughing, and blasting music as they bragged about their rival being gone. The video went viral fast, drawing backlash for how disrespectful and heartless it seemed. But karma has a strange way of coming full circle. Not long after that live stream celebration, tragedy struck again. 800 JT's close friend, 800 Tara Jules, was reported to have passed away. Just like with Lil Jeff's passing, his rivals didn't hold back from mocking him online, flooding social media with taunting posts and diss tracks. The cycle of revenge just kept spinning, one death after another. As for Lil Jeff, reactions to his death were split down the middle. Some fans mourned the loss of a young man who had talent and potential but got caught up in the streets. Others, however, claimed that his lifestyle and past actions had finally caught up with him, saying he brought his own downfall through years of violence and provocation. One fan online wrote, "Basically, Jeff was caught off guard during a sudden incident. Jeff was moving too reckless." Another person added, "He must have really been terrorizing folks out there." A third chimed in, "They probably feel real safe now. NDOT wouldn't even be outside if Jeff was still around." And another user tweeted bluntly, "People who act tough end up gone. Can't say I feel bad." While a lot of people online were harsh, others were genuinely heartbroken. Some fans expressed deep sadness over losing one of their favorite rising rappers. One person tweeted, "Lil Jeff was so fine. I'm so mad they took him away like that." The loss hit many of his supporters hard, especially those who'd followed his come-up in Chicago's underground scene. Other local rappers also paid their respects online. One of them, Tweaker, known on Instagram as @LilScum89, posted a series of photos and videos of himself with Lil Jeff. In one emotional story post, he wrote, "I love you, bro. I'm gonna see you soon. This don't even feel real." Fans flooded his comments with broken heart emojis and messages of support, showing just how deep the loss hit their circle. As expected, once the news of Lil Jeff's death spread, law enforcement quickly locked down the area where it happened. Police later confirmed that the victim, identified as 21-year-old Lil Jeff, had been hit in the upper body. They found multiple shell casings scattered on the ground, suggesting a chaotic exchange had gone down. At first, detectives said they had no solid leads or suspects, and the case appeared to stall. But a few months later, there was a major update. Authorities arrested another rapper, known as Trap City Rob, in connection with the incident involving Lil Jeff.
Trap City Rob was detained in the same neighborhood where Lil Jeff lost his life on October 30th, 2024. However, by November 1st, he was released without any formal charges due to insufficient evidence. Sources later revealed that authorities likely viewed the case as a situation of mutual combat, meaning both sides were involved in the confrontation that led to the tragic outcome. More insight into the situation came when Trench's News appeared in an interview with DJ Vlad. The popular commentator explained that while Trap City Rob may have been defending himself, the amount of force used went way beyond what was necessary. Reports said Lil Jeff was hit numerous times. Trench's News suggested that the incident spiraled out of control, and although it looked like self-defense at first, it became excessive once things escalated. He also pointed out that police probably shouldn't have arrested Trap City Rob in the first place, since he was reportedly outnumbered and facing off against Lil Jeff's crew that day. Still, the exchange left the streets buzzing as people debated whether the situation was truly about survival or something deeper. Without holding back, Trench's News shared what he believed was the real reason behind Lil Jeff's death, and it was just as senseless as the rest of his story. He claimed the entire incident started over a chain. According to him, the piece of jewelry wasn't even real, but rumors spread that Lil Jeff had taken it from a deceased brother and sister, which caused major tension in the streets. He went on to say that Lil Jeff apparently bragged about having the chain, even though he didn't actually have it on him. That lie reportedly triggered anger from people who were close to the victims tied to the story. Soon after, a group allegedly confronted him, leading to a heated scuffle that ended violently when Lil Jeff fought back. For a lot of people, Lil Jeff had become a symbol of chaos in his community, and many said it was only a matter of time before the same violence he once glorified came back to claim him. In one of his old videos, Lil Jeff even made a controversial statement online that many found alarming, giving a glimpse into how far his mindset had shifted. During his interview, Trench's News spoke on this as well, explaining that Lil Jeff seemed to idolize the late King Von, who had lost his life just a year before Jeff's own passing. He pointed out that Lil Jeff looked up to Von's street image and tried to live up to that same legacy, one filled with danger, ego, and violence. Trench's News used Jeff's story as a warning, urging young people to stop idolizing that kind of lifestyle, because in the end, it never ends well. Although Lil Jeff was never brought to trial over the serious allegations he referenced in his music and online, many felt his story reached a tragic conclusion. His story serves as a painful reminder of how quickly fame mixed with street life can lead to destruction. And that wraps up the wild, tragic story of Lil Jeff, his rise, his chaos, and his downfall. What do you think about everything that went down? Was it karma or just bad choices catching up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next explosive story shaking up the world of hip-hop and street culture.